Welcome back, everyone, to the 2024 Trading Mentorship. We are going into week 14 now, and we're starting to define our process, our rules for back testing. So let's dive into this week. And if you haven't already, subscribe, click that thumbs up. We are doing weekly mentorship videos for the rest of the year and more to come. So don't want to miss a thing. Make sure you go along this journey with us. So when you are back testing, it doesn't matter if you already know where price is going, right? Because you're testing only your rules. So you're going to look, check off your rules. Is there a setup? If not, get out, right? And you need to stick to that. Even if you have like this feeling inside, like it's just going to keep going down, but your setup shows that there's a possible long, take it. We need the data. We need to know if your exact rules have an edge, and you need to strictly stick to that, because we're not going to have good data if you don't actually input everything correctly. We have good data to look back on and make good decisions if there is indeed an edge with this strategy, or if we need to change some things or get a new strategy altogether, right? So you want to do 50 to 100 trades and then review the data. Don't do 10, don't do like a week or a month, right? We need 50 to 100, and even more the better, because then we know over time if that edge still plays out and what we land on, right? It may work really good for 1 week, and then the next week you lose, and then really you're only like at 3% up instead of 12, right? So take time back testing and stick to the rules so we have great data to go back on. And that's pretty much it for like how backtesting is going to work. What you're going to want to do with that is use the data. So do 50 to 100 trades, look at all that data, analyze it, and figure out, okay, this is a weak point. Example for me was Tuesdays are not my best day. I still test on Tuesdays because I need to get 100 trades or so, but as of right now, Tuesdays are not looking great, and I should probably just not trade Tuesdays. I'm losing money on Tuesdays. So when I'm done with my trial after 100 trades at least, that might be my weak point, and then I might do the exact same strategy, but just don't trade on Tuesdays, right? And then my strong points, Monday and Friday, for some reason, great days. Highest win rates for each day of the week are Monday and Fridays, and Wednesday is kind of like so-so, and Thursday is a pretty bad day as well, right? So for me, I'm taking mental note of that, but I'm still sticking to the rules until my testing is complete before I make that decision about those days, right? So we're going to keep testing, and then once you pass 100 trades, do you want to keep testing for like a full year? Or is that enough for you to conclude, hey, this pattern shows up a lot every time I lose, this is usually what happens when I lose, then readjust the rules, and then guess what? Test again with the new rules. The last part of backtesting is once you know your rules have an edge and you know you can make money with your system, right? We need to add discretion to your trading. And this is the true secret of successful traders and how they're so good, right? So what is discretion? It's knowing when you can enter a trade when not all the rules are met. So you have free will to place a trade because like today you've seen these patterns. It's not a rule because you don't need it always for your edge, but days like this where not every rule is met and this thing is forming, right, or happening, or this time is doing something, right, you might still enter a trade with a few of your rules met. And that is why you're going to add this last. First, strict rules, right? Let's just see if those rules have an edge. Then you're going to do your rules, but with some discretion. See your back testing after 100 trades, right? Now, was your edge better or worse? And then compare the data, right? And this is something more advanced. We'll talk about this when I'm breaking down my strategy and step by step the process of how I trade. When we get into that, I'll talk about this some more. But for now, if you haven't really done a lot of back testing, it's 100% rule based. Just play out the rules, test the edge. And this is in a way to do this simultaneously with back testing is you have your back testing with all your trades, right? Like if your rules are met, you take a trade. Just have 2 pages on that sheet where you could duplicate that exact same trade data or copy it or have them side by side, and then add in your discretion trades on this side. And then this column is just the rule-based trades. Then you could kind of save time and then compare, was your discretion helping or making it worse as you're going through the backtesting process. And when you're, taking notes on the discretion trades, how many of them are wins versus losses, right? So maybe there's an edge within your discretion that you could learn from the patterns and say, well, what's the common thing that usually happens and what makes me feel like this is a trade? And then look at the losses and be like, well, I felt like this pattern was going to play out. My rules were almost met and it went against me. Is there patterns with those losses that could help you identify and just confirm like, hey, I'm actually not fully sold on this discretion, right? So you're going to have a rule system within your rule system when you are a super advanced trader. Like I said, don't want to worry about this now, but for those of us that are a little more advanced in the journey, this is where I'm focusing on right now and getting some data from this. And that's where I encourage you to kind of branch out, do some advanced trading and see if you as a trader, it's being built inside you that you just get in the rhythm of the markets. Now, again, it doesn't mean you're going to be right 100% of the time. It's just sometimes your system, the rules don't always play out, and price is going to go here. But my full rules for my setup entry did not form, but it's still going that way, right? So that's where discretion comes in. And just if you're ready for it, you'll know you're ready for it. If not, stick to 100% rules and don't add this into your trading until you know your rules have an edge. One thing I did forget to say, so with these trades, make sure you're half risk. If you're going to start adding them into your live account and your edge, just do half risk. It's and like a bonus to your rules. So there's no point in doing, your full risk or anything like that. Just half risk or even a quarter risk if you want to be real conservative and just start collecting data while still actually placing trades. So lower risk on these trades to help not blow up your account and do big damage if you are live trading and want to start implementing it. And the last thing is repeat the process until it's natural. And that's when it becomes your discretion when you're trading is really on point and you're just starting to get in the flow of the markets. And that's ultimately where you want to get with your trading, where you're just in tune with your rules, how the market's going to flow. And if it doesn't follow your rules and it's still likely to go to that area where you're going to get in, stuff like that. So keep repeating that process until that becomes fluent and you're not overthinking when you're actually trading, so you don't freeze up in the markets and place weird trades or bad trades or press the wrong button because your anxiety is going up, right? We want to be calm, cool, and collected the best we can. And then after that, when you collect real trade data and your backtesting data, then you can start thinking about branching out because sometimes there's just no setup, right? So once you get comfortable with a certain market or pair or symbol, then we can start branching out to other ones. So for me, I do the futures, S&P 500, the E-mini, that's the one I trade, right? But sometimes I do look at the NASDAQ. Every once in a while, I'll take a trade over there. Not my main focus, but I'm learning that market, and I kind of got down this market with my strategy, right? So now I could branch out, start testing and back testing and seeing how my edge plays out in that, or if there's any tweaks I need to do or reference it back to the S&P 500, stuff like that. And that's that's when you start getting into your advanced testing, and really it's just a numbers game. And that's why we're always collecting data, because that's going to help us make smart decisions and not emotional decisions, because we have proof. If we do it this many times, it's this much likely, like 70% likely to be a win versus a loss. And if we do X amount of risk reward, it's likely to hit, all that stuff, right? So we can feel confident in the probabilities and not just feel like, it's went up too high, it can't go up anymore, I feel like it's going to go down, so I'm going to sell it, with no confirmation, no rules, right? So let's get out of our emotions, get into logic, and start collecting data. Last thing I want to say, you could use TradingView or FX Replay or type system, where you could start backtesting your trades and collecting data like that. We will go into building a sheet and all that stuff, or I'll talk about what we offer within our program. If you click the link down below and you want to check it out now, we put all our resources under one price. So if we talk about this Excel sheet or this document or this whatever, it's all under that one link, one-time purchase. You get access to all our resources, even the ones we develop in the future. So click that link down below if you want to check those out. If not, stay tuned. In the future weeks, we're going to actually get into Excel and Google Docs, Google Sheets, and we'll customize a little simple backtesting sheet, and maybe you'll start to fall in love with collecting data and analyzing data like I do myself. I just enjoy it, looking at the numbers and the patterns, seeing what it is. So subscribe if you haven't already, click that thumbs up, and we'll see you in next week's video. Peace.